Listen very carefully, because the car we're talking about today should not exist. I'm serious. This isn't hype. This isn't clickbait. This is the first car I've ever reviewed that genuinely feels like a mistake, like someone in China accidentally approved a prototype that was never meant to leave the lab. This is the Zeekr 001. We are talking about a car that, in its top spec, pushes out 1,265 horsepower. Yes, you heard that right. A family hatchback that can gap a Bugatti Veyron to 60 miles per hour. It does 0 to 60 in 2.02 seconds. That is not a typo. That is physically painful acceleration in a car that has massage seats and fits your groceries. But the speed isn't even the crazy part. It costs less than a base Tesla. If this car ever enters the US market, half the auto industry will collapse within a week. So buckle up, because what I'm about to show you is going to make you question every car you've ever considered buying. Let's start with the front end, because this face is aggressive. It's got this vibe like it's staring into your soul. If you're getting Porsche Panamera vibes, you are not crazy, but it's like a Panamera that spent 6 months in the gym and got a cybernetic implant. Look at these daytime running lights. They call this the interstellar design language, but to me, it looks like a predator waiting to strike. These vertical LED strips are actually distinct from the main headlights, which are hidden down here in the matrix black strip. It creates this split-level look that is so futuristic, it makes everything else look 10 years old. And the headlights aren't just lights, they are fully adaptive matrix LEDs with over 60 individual lighting zones. That means this car can literally carve out shadows around oncoming traffic so you don't blind people while keeping your high beams on. We pay thousands for that tech in an Audi, and here it's just standard. The hood has these sharp, muscular creases that lead your eye right to the badge, which, by the way, lies flat and looks super premium. There is no grille because this is fully electric, obviously, but they didn't just slap a flat piece of plastic there and call it a day. It has active air shutters that open and close depending on whether the battery needs cooling or you need better aerodynamics. It's functional, it looks mean, and honestly, standing here, I'm trying to find a bad angle, but I can't. It's wide, it's low, and it commands respect. But don't get too comfortable, because there is a feature on the side of this car that I guarantee you have never seen on a vehicle at this price point. Moving around to the side, this is where the silhouette really hits you. They call it a shooting brake, which is basically car enthusiast speak for a sexy wagon, and my god does it work. It sits on massive 22-inch forged alloy wheels that fill the arches perfectly. The stance is insane. It doesn't look like an SUV, and it doesn't look like a sedan. It looks like a weapon. The body lines are incredibly smooth, almost like water flowing over a rock, which gives it a drag coefficient of 0.23, which is slippery as hell. And the door opens electrically. It uses sensors to scan the area, so if there's a pole or a person standing there, it stops automatically. It's like having a chauffeur that's invisible. And it's not just the front doors. All 4 doors do this. You walk up, the car sees you, and it just presents the interior to you like you're royalty. The windows are frameless, naturally, because we are fancy, and they are double-paned acoustic glass, so when you shut this door, or rather when you push a button and the door shuts itself, the world just disappears. Let's talk about the rear end, because in my opinion, this is the best angle of the car. It is thick with 2 C's. The hips on this car are wider than my Future, and the way the roofline slopes down into this integrated spoiler is pure art. The taillight is a single continuous bar that stretches all the way across, but it's not just a boring red line. It has this crystal block texture inside, and when you unlock the car, it plays a welcome animation that looks like the startup sequence of a starship. It says Zeekr right in the middle, illuminated just to let everyone behind you know what just passed them. The rear bumper has this aggressive diffuser element that hints at the performance, and you've got these little shark fin aerodynamic elements on the sides. It looks planted, it looks expensive. If you debadged this car and parked it in Beverly Hills, people would think it's some secret prototype from some European supercar brand. But no, it's from the same company that owns Volvo. And you can tell, the build quality on the outside, the panel gaps, the paint finish, is flawless. I'm looking for imperfections. I'm looking for that cheap manufacturing stereotype, and I can't find it. It's annoying how good this is. But trust me, if the outside looks good, the inside is going to melt your brain, so stick around. Now, we have to talk about what is powering this beast because the numbers are just stupid. The Zeekr 001 sits on Geely's SEA platform, which stands for Sustainable Experience Architecture. You can get it with a 100 kilowatt-hour battery, or if you are completely insane, they offer a 140 kilowatt-hour Keelan battery pack that gives you over 600 miles of range on the Chinese cycle. Even if you translate that to real-world US highway driving, you're looking at range numbers that make a Model S look nervous. The standard dual-motor version puts out about 536 horsepower, which is already fast, doing 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, but the FR version, that's the quad-motor monster with 1,265 horsepower. It uses silicon carbide inverters and an 800-volt architecture, meaning it charges faster than my phone. You can go from 10 to 80% charge in 15 minutes. 15 minutes! By the time you run inside to grab a coffee and use the bathroom, the car is ready to go another 300 miles. That eliminates range anxiety completely. And because it has torque vectoring, it can do a tank turn. Yes, the car can spin 360 degrees in one spot like a tank. Is that useful? Probably not. Is it the coolest party trick I've ever seen? Absolutely. It's ridiculous engineering just because they can. On the safety front, this car is basically a fortress on wheels. Because Zeekr is owned by Geely, which also owns Volvo, they share a lot of safety DNA. It's built with ultra high-strength steel and aluminum, and it has achieved 5-star safety ratings with flying colors. But the hardware is what scares me, in a good way. It has 7 8-megapixel cameras, a long-range LiDAR sensor mounted right above the windshield, and millimeter-wave radars. It sees everything. It has full ADAS capabilities, meaning adaptive cruise control, lane centering, automatic lane changing, and collision avoidance that is faster than human reaction time. The car is constantly building a 3D model of the world around it. It's watching pedestrians, cyclists, other cars, and probably ghosts, I don't know. It's incredibly advanced. And unlike some manufacturers who beta test on their customers, I'm not naming names, but you know who I mean, this system feels polished, it's smooth, it doesn't phantom brake every time it sees a shadow, it just works.
Okay, take a deep breath, because we are going inside, and this is where the Zeekr 001 effectively ends the competition. I am opening the door, auto open remember, and sitting down, and immediately I feel poor. The materials in here are top tier. Everything you touch is either Nappa leather, Alcantara, or microfiber suede. The headliner is Alcantara, the pillars are Alcantara, the dashboard is wrapped in soft touch leather with intricate stitching that looks like it was done by a grandmother who loves you. There is zero hard plastic. I'm tapping around the center console, the door bins, the lower dash. Nothing rattles, nothing feels hollow. It feels solid. The seats are these sporty bucket-style seats that look incredible, but they are also some of the most comfortable things I have ever sat in. They are heated, ventilated, and yes, they have a massage function that actually massages you, not just gently vibrates like a cell phone. And get this, the side bolsters are active, so when you take a corner fast, the seat literally hugs you tighter to keep you in place. Bro, what? That is S-Class tech in a car that costs a fraction of the price. The technology suite in here is overwhelming in the best way possible. Right in front of you, there's a sleek, curved digital instrument cluster that gives you all your speed and nav info, but the star of the show is this massive 15.4-inch OLED floating center screen. It's running a Snapdragon 8295 chip, which is basically the most powerful processor you can put in a car right now. The response time is instantaneous, it feels like an iPad Pro, the graphics are crisp, 2.5K resolution, and the UI is beautiful. You can drag and drop widgets, rotate a 3D model of the car in real time with zero lag, and control literally everything from here. And I mean everything. You want to adjust the steering wheel? Screen. Mirrors? Screen. But wait, it gets better. It has a 35.5-inch augmented reality head-up display. It projects navigation arrows onto the road in front of you so you never miss a turn. It's like playing a video game. And there's one feature in this car that no US brand would ever dare to try. I'll show you in a second, but first, check out the ambient lighting. It's not just a strip of light. It's integrated into the trim panels with this laser-etched pattern that changes colors and pulses to the music. Speaking of music, the sound system is by Yamaha. Yes, the motorcycle and piano company. It has 28 speakers, including speakers in the headrest and a massive subwoofer. It puts out 3,000 watts of power. I turned it up to 50% and I thought my eardrums were going to explode. The clarity is unmatched. It feels like you're sitting inside a concert hall. And remember what I said about the seats? The seats vibrate in sync with the bass. It's called 4D sound. So when the bass drops, you literally feel it in your spine. It is an immersive experience that you just don't get in normal cars. And looking at the center console, it's clean. There's a crystal shifter that looks like a jewel, dual wireless charging pads that are actually fast charging, and deep storage bins lined with felt so your keys don't rattle. They thought of everything. There's even a Yamaha fragrance system that pumps scents into the cabin. You can choose from different smells like sunshine or forest. I'm not making this up. This car is practically a spa. Now, let's jump into the back seat because usually this is where cars cut corners. Not here. I'm 6 foot tall and I have acres of legroom. I can cross my legs. The floor is completely flat because it's an EV, so the middle seat is actually usable. But the best part? The rear seats are electrically adjustable. I can recline the backrest with a button on the door. And yes, the rear seats are also heated. There's a touchscreen in the back of the center console so rear passengers can control their own climate, the music, and even the ambient lighting. It feels like a limo back here. Above me is a massive panoramic glass roof that stretches all the way back. It doesn't open, but it uses electrochromic technology. That means with the push of a button, it goes from clear to opaque to block out the sun. No flimsy fabric shade that gets stuck on the track. It's magic glass. Why do we not have this in every car? It makes the cabin feel so airy and open. Practicality-wise, the Zeekr 001 is a beast. Because it's a hatchback or shooting bracket, the trunk opening is huge. You don't have that narrow slot like in a sedan. You can easily fit a stroller, golf clubs, or a week's worth of Costco regrets in here. The rear seats fold down flat with the touch of a button, electronic releases of course. And when they are down, you have enough space to camp in. Literally, there is a camp mode in the software that keeps the AC running so you can sleep in the back on an air mattress. Under the trunk floor, there is deep storage for your charging cables, and yes, there is a front trunk. It's not massive, but it's big enough for a gym bag or a backpack. It's a genuinely usable family car that just happens to have supercar performance and Maybach luxury. So, we have established that it looks incredible, goes like a rocket, and has an interior better than your living room. Now comes the part that is going to make you cry: the price. In China, the Zeekr 001 starts at around $37,000 US. Let me repeat that, $37,000 for a car with air suspension, soft closed doors, matrix LEDs, and 500 horsepower. The top spec version with the 1200 horsepower is obviously more expensive, pushing over 100 grand, but the volume seller, the one with all the luxury tech we just looked at, is cheaper than a base Tesla Model 3. If this car came to the US at that price, the entire car market would collapse overnight. Ford, GM, Toyota, they would have no answer. It is genuinely terrifying how much value they are packing into this vehicle. And yes, I know about tariffs and taxes, so if it ever did come here, it would be more expensive. But even at 50 or 60 grand, this would be a steal. It makes you realize how much we are overpaying for legacy tech. Okay, now I'm officially offended. We don't get this in the US. This feels illegal to be this advanced and this cheap. It makes my Tesla feel like a 2012 Android phone. You sit in a Model Y and it's minimalist, sure, but it's also Spartan. You sit in this and you feel special. You feel like the car was designed to impress you, not just transport you. The attention to detail, from the stitching on the steering wheel to the animation of the turn signals, is just on another level. And the driving dynamics? I managed to get some seat time and the air suspension deletes bumps. It's not floaty like an old Cadillac, it's composed. You throw it into a corner and it stays flat. The steering is sharp. It hides its weight incredibly well. It's a driver's car wrapped in a luxury cocoon. So here's the big question. Would you pick this or a Tesla Model 3, a BMW 3 Series, or a Honda Accord? Be honest. Forget the politics for a second and just look at the machine. If you could buy this car right now in the States with a full warranty and service network, would you switch? Because looking at the feature list, looking at the performance, and looking at that price tag, it's getting harder and harder to justify buying anything else. The Chinese car industry isn't just catching up anymore. In many ways, they've already lapped us. They are taking risks, they're innovating, and they are putting features into mass market cars that we used to only see in six-figure exotics. This car is a wake-up call. It's a statement. It's Zeekr telling the world, we are here and we are not playing around. And honestly, as a car enthusiast, I love it. Competition breeds innovation. If this car scares the legacy automakers into making better products, then we all win. But right now, standing here, I just feel a little bit empty knowing I have to give the keys back. This is the future, whether we like it or not, and the future looks fast, luxurious, and surprisingly affordable. So what do you think? Is this the future family car or just a tech-filled gadget? Would you trust it? Drop your thoughts below. I really want to know what you guys think about this invasion of tech. Smash subscribe if you want to see more insane cars that we can't buy. Hit that like button to help the algorithm, and buckle up because next time, we're checking out another Chinese car that might embarrass the entire industry even more than this one. Peace.